He said he believes that we close our eyes at death, and the next moment we open them at the gathering in the clouds at the resurrection. That there is no waiting period as spirits, disembodied spirits in heaven. As I said, that's how I've always taught it. But I kind of like that idea that from the very second we die, we immediately experience the resurrection in unity with all of the righteous throughout history. I don't know. As I said, not something I've thought about, but it's kind of a neat thought to think the next moment would be when we see him, we're gathered together in the clouds, and we are clothed with immortality.
Well, you do know that when we read the book of Revelation, and I've one of my pet sides is I study temporal mechanics and physics and everything. Sometimes you have to understand the Bible. Uh, John is unique from all the other people that God showed heaven to, the Old Testament prophets, and that I think he transcended time because he met with a glorified believer that already had a glorified body. And John was almost responded as to worship. He said, "No, no, no, I'm one of your fellow brothers." That he was so much like Christ with that glorified body that John wasn't really, didn't know how to respond.
Mm.
But there's so much more to this than we begin to realize. And I've always viewed almost the opposite of the Greek way, in that the parent reality is heaven. And we're in the third heaven, so we're a third rung down. The child, and when you're talking about multidimensional realities, the child dimensional reality can never be greater than the parent. So when we, in a sense, when we move up, we're not getting wispy and all this. It's actually more real than this here. In fact, this is what we're experiencing here is a pale shadow, I think, to life in the first heaven.
Mm.
And the whole thing of the resurrection and the whole thing of the millennial reign is God bringing that down and manifesting it in the third heaven realm. That this is what heaven is like, and I'm bringing it down because it can only be done through the completed work of Messiahship and him ruling and reigning.